July 8th, 2005, the day sheep flew. Or at least they thought they could. In the outskirts of Istanbul, Turkey, shepherds watched in amazement, then shock, then horror, as their sheep, led by a woolly zealot bent on ending its sheep life, launched themselves like stones in a pond off the face of a cliff. Well, we'll never know what was going on in those 1,500 sheep minds. It was probably something like this. The good sheep, the woolly zealot, is good. Good sheep know what they're doing, and so I, being a patriot of this flock, will follow the good sheep. The good sheep is moving away from the shepherd, so the shepherd must be bad. I know the good sheep is good, and so I will follow. The good sheep is getting awfully close to the edge of the cliff, but the good sheep is good, and so I will follow. The good sheep just jumped off the edge of the cliff, but I know the good sheep is good, and so I will follow. It probably didn't dawn on these sheep until they were falling to their untimely doom that the perceived goodness of the good sheep wasn't so good after all, but was rather a fatal fall with a traumatic impact. While the closest many of us will be to actually being sheep is our sheepish dispositions, a clear parallel can be drawn between us as human beings and the suicidal sheep of Turkey. That parallel being that too often we follow the good sheep in our lives, rather than following the defining principles and morals that are so foundational to humanity. This is a problem, and it needs to change. Good sheep come in many shapes and sizes. Parents and friends, friend groups and families, all represent good sheep in our lives. Often good sheep are individuals or groups who pose an influence on those around them. Often these good sheep are leaders. They earn our trust, they have our respect, and our loyalty. And while some good sheep aren't truly good, with blotted wool and lost sanity, many good sheep are truly good. But today, we're not here to talk about the actual good sheep of society. No, no, no. Today, we're talking about the bad good sheep of society. The blotted wool, the lost sanity, the sediment of society, politics. Politics are ugly. Few things in this world aside from politics can drive a chill person with a calm way of life to the edge of a killing spree like the world has never seen. They're divisive, prevalent, and everyone has an opinion. A major component of politics, specifically in the United States, is the political parties and their leaders that make up the system by which the populace abides. These individuals and groups are prime examples of good sheep in our lives. They earn our respect if they're on the right side. They have our trust if they're on the right side. They have our loyalty if they're on the right side. These politicians and political parties are the living embodiment of our society's good sheep. Some of these good sheep, leaders of the Republican Party, pushed the idea that the 2020 election was stolen, that through fraudulent voting, the United States elected the wrong president. Inspired by their good sheep, supporters and followers of the party began to protest, in some cases violently, in light of the United States' long-standing tradition of a peaceful transition of power. In response, leaders of the Democratic Party pushed the idea that there was no fraud whatsoever. Inspired by their good sheep, supporters and followers of the party began to protest, again in some cases violently, shattering the already broken, long-standing record of a peaceful transition of power. So, what was the conclusion? Was there fraud? Was there not fraud? Who was in the right, and who was in the wrong? There was fraud. There was a lot of fraud, but not enough to change the outcome of the election. Neither side had their facts straight. Leaders in both parties dismissed reality and adopted their own. But this dismissal of reality didn't just affect the individuals directly involved. It affected their millions of supporters nationwide who now have a skewed perspective of what is real. In proper sheep-like fashion, they followed the good sheep to the edge of the cliff. This widespread delusion is perfectly encapsulated by the French term folie à deux, which translated to English means shared madness. In proper folie à deux fashion, this dismissal of reality, this insanity of the good sheep, inspires insanity in the rest of the flock, due to their loyalty and support for the good sheep. As reality further eludes the minds of the followers of the good sheep, they begin to wander further away from their shepherd. They have found a new master. Now, we all know what this new master is. It is whatever political party or leader's box you check when the ballots come around. It is the good sheep. But who, or rather what, is the old master? To put it simply, the old master is our principles. These guiding shepherds have led humanity through thousands of years of existence. And while no two individuals' principles are exactly the same, they're still equally important in the development of individuals and humanity. While there are many characteristics that set human beings apart from the other forms of life on this planet, the one defining characteristic that sets us apart from the beasts isn't our ability to think, not our ability to feel or to love. It isn't our ability to create. It isn't the form of our creation. It isn't an action that we take, but rather what defines these actions. It isn't how we are molded, but what we were molded by. Our principles. Our principles are what set us apart. Our principles are the divinity of man. Looking at it now, it seems like sorta, kinda, maybe bad idea to move away from our principles that have led humanity through thousands of years of existence and set us apart from the animals. Maybe? Yes, of course it's a bad idea. Falling into this folie à deux of not only stepping into someone else's false reality, but leaving your lifelong guide is simply inconceivable, and yet more and more people are beginning to follow not their principles that have led them through their life, but on the good sheep in their lives, be it a political party or leader, left or right. Left or right, up or down, how do we change this problem? How do we extract ourselves from this folie à deux? How do we prevent the fall we so perilously threw ourselves into in pursuit of the good sheep? The answer is simple. Turn around and walk away from the edge. Stop following and believing whatever your beloved party or leader has to offer. Retrace your steps back to your principles. They're not that far away, and let them guide you. A shepherd protects its flock. It provides the means for its sheep to face whatever challenges they may encounter in life, just like our principles. Step away from the edge. Step out of this folie à deux. Rid yourself of this insanity. Follow ideas and leaders who abide by your principles. Oppose those that don't. If you leave today remembering only one thing, remember this. Follow the shepherd, your principles, and stop following your good sheep. Stop following the woolly zealot. Thank you.